Morning, everyone. Yes, good morning. Abdul, Javed, lovely, good morning. So it's good that I'm audible to all of you. Can you see the slide? Sparsh Sharma, they all have been added, and don't keep on every time keep in popping up to join. You should join in the very beginning. कहाँ पे है? सब join है? कोई नहीं ठीक. Okay, just starting. Again, two people. Okay. So we're starting with this topic, rectum. Today's topic is rectum. So we'll start with rectum now. You know what is rectum? Rectum means, rectus means straight, right? Anything which is straight, anatomically we call them as rectum. This prefix rectus is included in many other structures. You remember rectus abdominis, rectus femoris, right? Rectus capitis, and there are different recti muscles for the eyeball also. The superior rectus, inferior rectus. So rectus means straight. Any other terminology for straightening is, what is orthopedics? How is this word? What is the meaning of orthopedics? Anyone? चैटिंग कहाँ से ऑन करोगे? इधर दिखनी चाहिए ना, दिखती क्यों नहीं है मुझे? यहाँ से चैटिंग ऊपर रखो इसको. ये हमेशा हट जाता है.
आपने इतना हटा दिया है क्या?
हमने क्या हटाया है चैटिंग? हम तो सामने ही तुम्हारे बैठे हैं. चैटिंग ऊपर रखना, ठीक है? और ये एंट्री बार बार, ये वेटिंग रूम में एंट्री एंट्री की करो, एक्सेप्ट खत्म करो. अभी अब फिर आएंगे. स्ट्रेट चाइल्ड, स्ट्रेट चाइल्ड. ऑर्थो मीन्स स्ट्रेट पेडिक्स. ऑर्थो मीन्स स्ट्रेट पेडिक्स. Okay, so orthopedics means, ortho means straightening of, and pediatrics age group में initially the word was derived to straighten the bones of the child to make him stand erect. जो पोलियो टाइप्स पहले लिम्पिंग गेट होते थे स्टूडेंट बच्चों में, उस एज ग्रुप के, चाइल्डहुड एज ग्रुप में, पीडियाट्रिक एज ग्रुप में. तो टू स्ट्रेटन द बोन्स एंड टू मेक देम स्टैंड इरेक्ट, this word derived is orthopedics, to straighten the bones of the child. So anyways, the purpose was to tell you rectum means something straight. And another thing is the rectum, the name it is denotes rectum means straight, but here it is a misnomer. In human beings, rectum is a misnomer. First of all, now look, this is the large intestine. Starting from the cecum, from cecum, this is appendix. This position of appendix is, which position of appendix is this? कौन बताएगा? This is pelvic position. Pelvic position. Yes, pelvic position appendix की, right? Okay. And pelvic position of appendix will be lying lateral to ovary. Ovarian fossa हमने अभी last lecture पढ़ाया था, याद है? So a pelvic position of ovary, appendix is in lateral relation to ovary because it goes inside the true pelvis. Now this is cecum in the right iliac fossa. Then this is ascending colon, this is hepatic flexure, and this is splenic flexure. So you have also seen that splenic flexure is at a higher level than the hepatic flexure. Then this is the descending colon, this is a sigmoid colon having a loop. So ascending and descending are retroperitoneal. This is suspended by transverse mesocolon, and cecum is suspended by sigmoid mesocolon. Okay, this is the three identifying hallmark features for a large intestine is presence of tinea coli, presence of hostrations, and presence of appendices epiploicum. All the three identifying features of a large intestine are seen here. So this is sigmoid colon, and then sigmoid colon, it reaches the left iliac fossa. Clear? That means it is a content of greater or false pelvis on the left side. Then this portion, is rectum. This includes rectum and anus or anal canal. Now this is resting on the sacrum and coccyx. Okay, so this sigmoid colon reaches into the true pelvis up till S2 sacral vertebrae. Thick. So from S3, remember, from S3, S4, S5 and coccyx. So this much portion is the rectum. So rectum posteriorly is related to the lower three sacral vertebrae. Clear? Now, rectum, why I was saying is a misnomer, because it is not straight in human beings. Okay, because human beings have adopted a erect posture, and this is the outlet of fecal matter. So if it would have been vertically straight, this would have been like a easy exit passage to the fecal matter or the stools. So there would have been incontinence. So to prevent that, there are slight curvatures, anteroposterior and transverse curvatures in the rectum. So that is like, making it not so straight. Now, can you see from the inside, this is the portion called the sigmoid colon. And in the sigmoid colon, what you're seeing are transverse mucosal folds. These transverse mucosal folds are called plica circularis. Plica circularis. Or walls of Kerckring. याद आ गया? These walls of Kerckring or plica circularis, they are very much more prominent in the duodenum, jejunum, ileum. And these are rigid folds. They are not like if you stretch the portion of the intestine, these folds do not disappear. So these are permanent mucosal folds. Now, when this is when this has entered into the pelvis till the region of S2 lower border, it is the sigmoid colon. From S2 lower border, it's this commencement of rectum. Now you'll see this rectum also has transverse mucosal folds, but these transverse rectal folds, they are not complete like them. So transverse folds are not complete in rectum. That's why they're called plica transversales. Plica transversales. So there are small shallow ridges, but three of them are very prominent. One of them, there are two mucosal folds directed inside from the left wall of the rectum. This one is the upper one, and this is the first, and this is the third. The second mucosal fold is from the right wall of the rectum. And you can see this continuation of sigmoid to rectum, the lumen is of same diameter. Remember that sigmoid, when it continues to rectum to form the rectum, there is no narrowing or constriction or dilatation. It is of the same caliber. 4 centimeter is supposed to be the diameter of sigmoid and upper portion of the rectum. The diameter is same. Got it? But in the lower portion of the rectum, it has a dilatation, and this dilatation is called rectal ampulla. This rectal ampulla is above the lower portion of the rectum. Now in the lower portion of the rectum, as I was telling you, there are transverse and vertical or longitudinal mucosal folds as well. The transverse folds were called plica transversalis. But in the lower portion, they are more prominent. The longitudinal mucosal folds, you can see here, they are more prominent in the lower part of the rectum. And then they reach down here to this fold called pectineal line. Here you'll find is a loop-shaped walls. These are called anal walls, and these are called anal columns. Now this portion is the lower 3.8 to 4 centimeter, which is an exit. This opening is the anus. So from below, it is around 3.8 to 4 centimeter is anal canal. Anal canal has 2 types of sphincter. The inner one is the internal anal sphincter, which is a smooth muscle and autonomically controlled. Then outside laterally, peripherally to that, is external anal sphincter, which is a somatic sphincter, skeletal muscles. So they're innervated by pudendal nerves. Then on the 2 sides you find is this pelvic floor, the levator ani. So rectum is above to the pelvic diaphragm. Then rectum perforates or it pierces the diaphragm to continue into the perineum, and the portion of the GIT below the pelvic diaphragm, you can see here it is levator ani on the both the sides. This portion is the anal canal. So 3.8 centimeters is anal canal, and the length of the rectum is 12 centimeters. Okay. Okay, now we'll focus on all small little things about the gross anatomy of the rectum. So as I said, it is not a vertical straight exit pathway. Rectum is a misnomer in human beings because it had curvatures. Now anteroposteriorly, you see there are 2 curvatures. Above 2/3, upper 2/3 portion of the rectum is having anterior concavity, and this curvature is according to the curvature of the sacrum because it rests on the sacrum. So upper 2/3 of the rectum is having concavity anteriorly and it is resting on the sacrum. The lower 1/3 is convex anteriorly and is having a bulged end anteriorly. This is called rectal ampulla. Okay. Then rectal ampulla, below to that you find this line, it perforates the pelvic diaphragm, and this portion below the pelvic diaphragm is called anal canal. About the relations, you can see here that upper 1/3, you can see upper 1/3, this is the fold of peritoneum. If you remember when I was teaching ovary, fallopian tubes, then I told you that this peritoneum of the abdominal cavity in an erect posture, it descends down. So when it descends down, it reaches the true pelvis and it covers the viscera there. So it covers the fallopian tubes, ovaries, uterus, anterior and posteriorly, and together it forms a broad ligament laterally, extending laterally. Then it covers the bladder, then posteriorly it covers the rectum. Now this fold of peritoneum which covers the rectum is not actually completely covering the rectum. You can see in the upper 1/3, this fold of peritoneum is covering the upper 1/3 anteriorly and laterally. Then in the middle 1/3, the peritoneum lies only anteriorly, and then it gets reflected back to cover the uterus in case of females. So this pouch here is called rectouterine pouch of Douglas. In males, it will ascend to cover the urinary bladder. So it's called rectovesical pouch in case of males. Okay, and this distance from the anal opening is around 7.5 centimeters in males. You can see here that from anal opening to rectovesical pouch is 7.5 centimeters. But in case of females, you'll find that this is rectouterine pouch. So this distance is 5.5 centimeters. 5.5 centimeters in case of females. So that means this peritoneal recess is more lower down in females, and that reaches to around 5.5 centimeters from the anal opening. That's why it's easy to collect sample of the exit of the blood or whatever, pus or any debris, cellular debris, whatever has to be, that is the portion of the liquids in the abdominal cavity, that can be sampled here through the posterior vaginal wall easily, because it is so dependent down. It is like 5.5 centimeter from the anal opening. Okay, that was the antero-posterior curvature. Now you see the transverse curvatures. Transverse curvatures mean what you will see that in the upper 1/3, it has a slight curvature or convexity towards the right side. Middle portion of the rectum has a convexity towards the left side. Then lower 1/3 again has a convexity towards the right side. So that makes it 3 curvatures in transverse plane. Okay, there are 2 curvatures, upper half, upper 1/3 and lower 1/3, they are having convexity towards the right side, and the middle 1/3 having convexity towards the left side. And this convexity is because of this middle transverse mucosal fold, which is the most prominent. I told you there were 3 folds: upper fold, middle, and inferior fold. Middle fold is more prominent, and it is the the largest mucosal fold. So because of that, you find is that a curvature is towards the left side in the middle 1/3. Then in the this is the sagittal section of the pelvis. In males, what you're seeing is rectum lying anterior to the lower 3 sacral pieces, S3, S4, S5, and anterior to the coccyx. Then, as I told you, anteriorly to that, you will find urinary bladder. Then you have a urethra, prostatic urethra, membranous urethra. Then outside, below to the perineal membrane, is bulbar urethra. This is surrounded by prostate and seminal vesicles lying posterior to the bladder. This fold of peritoneum here, this pouch is called rectovesical pouch in males. So, in case of talking about relations, this rectum, what I'm teaching, is a big question. This comes in a form of a 10 to 15 marks long question. It's a very important topic. Both rectum and anal canal, they are long questions. And I believe you all have a notebook and a pen beside you while you're going through these lectures. You should always keep a writing pad and a pen, so you can keep down noting important things. Apart from taking screenshots, if you wish, you can take screenshots, but you keep on noting down important points. Although everything yes, good. Okay, so in case, there will be a heading, like first heading will be like, what is rectum, then what is the location of rectum, then size and orientation of the rectum, then there will be a next heading will be peritoneal relations. So peritoneal relations with what I have told you here. Then about the visceral relations. So what you're seeing in visceral relations will be different in male and female. In males, visceral relations will be like anterior to the rectum, you will find rectovesical pouch, and anterior to that will be urinary bladder, there will be prostate, seminal vesicle, ductus deferens, and membranous urethra. They are all in anterior relation to the rectum. And in case of females, anterior relations of the rectum will be rectouterine pouch, lower end of the uterus, cervix, vagina, then ischioanal fossa. This space is ischioanal fossa. Actually, it lies both the sides, laterally to the anal canal, and even on the rectum, both the sides. ठीक है, तो लेटरल रिलेशंस में इश्चुएनल फोसा, एंड इश्चुएनल फोसा बोलेंगे तो इश्चुएनल फोसा के कंटेंट्स विल आल्सो बी इन लेटरल रिलेशन टू द एनल कैनाल एंड द रेक्टम. व्हाट आर द contents of ischional fossa will be pudendal nerves and vessels. So they'll be in lateral relation to the rectum and anal canal. Now talking about the posterior relations of the rectum, they will be same in both male and females, and the posterior relations of the rectum will be the lower three sacral vertebrae, then the coccyx, and remember, to the tip of the coccyx, the anal canal is, pulled behind because of this anococcygeal ligament. So this anococcygeal ligament keeps a pull posteriorly to the anal canal. Clear? And this, you can see, why is this like, change in curvature? And, rectum was descending, its course is, first of all, it descends downwards and backwards according to the curvature of the sacrum. Then it descends downwards, and then it goes downwards and forwards. That is how it is, C-shaped. But suddenly it takes a, sharp turn. This sharp turn, dipping downwards and backwards to form the anal canal. This sharp turn is because of a muscle, and that muscle winds around this lower end of the rectum, and that muscle is a part of levator ani, and that muscle is called puborectalis. So because puborectalis pulls this anorectal junction anteriorly, got it? And anococcygeal ligament is pulling the anal canal behind. So that makes a change in curvature at the anococcygeal junction. Okay. So this was about the relations and the visceral relations of the rectum. Now look here. This is the sigmoid colon found in the left iliac fossa. And what single point, important point of sigmoid mesocolon, that it is the reservoir of fecal matter. Whatever you eat in daily basis, it goes and gets collected in the sigmoid colon. Remember that. Your fecal matter is not stored in the rectum, because in normal regular life, this rectum is empty. So rectum is empty, and whenever the fecal matter from the sigmoid colon is pushed into rectum, which is normally empty, so there will be stretching of the walls of the rectum. So dilatation of the rectum sends impulses to the higher centers, and that is through parasympathetic nerves. And that gives you an urge to defecate. So urge to defecate arises because of stretching of rectum. Remember that. Until your fecal matter or the stools are resting there in the sigmoid colon, you don't feel like defecating. The urge to defecate begins only when the fecal matter reaches the rectum. Clear? So that means Regular life may normally the rectum is empty. And being empty, it is also closed. The lumen is closed because on the two sides of the rectum, both the sides, there is ischioanal fossa, which is filled with fat, which is packed up with fat. So that fat on the two sides of the rectum and anal canal pushes the walls of the rectum and anal canal, which is normally empty, and closes this lumen. ठीक, तो इस तरह से चीज समझ में आ गई. फिजियोलॉजिकल पर्पस ऑफ दिस sigmoid colon का क्या है? Actually absorption only what remains, because absorption has begun right from the stomach, you know, oral cavities is continuous, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, हर तरफ से absorption is being continuously a process of absorption. So sigmoid colon तक maximum absorption of even the fluid water has also been absorbed. Now hardening of stools also begin, because sigmoid colon में if stools are stored for a longer time, the more of water is absorbed, so that makes the stool harder. अगर regular and regular intervals पे defecation होगा, तो stools will not be so hard. यानी कि जिसे कहते हैं ना constipation जो होता है, because you are not defecating at regular intervals, so the fecal matter is stored there and there will be continuous absorption of water, so that makes the stool hard. So harder stools will descend down to the rectum in that case. Okay, so then this rectum I told you is 12 centimeters in length from S3 to cos6. Then when it reaches here, it will find a pelvic diaphragm. So pelvic diaphragm mein, there is this, in case of males, there will be a opening through which rectum passes below the pelvic diaphragm into the perineal cavity and forms the anal canal. Now opening of anal canal, remember, is directed downwards and backwards. Okay, and this is called anococcygeal ring. No, sorry, anorectal, rectoanal or anorectal ring. And this is called rectosigmoidal junction. This is rectosigmoidal junction and this is rectoanal junction. क्यों? अरे मुझे पता चलता रहता है ना इसमें कौन क्या कह रहा है. देखो इतने एडमिट ये कितने बीच में आ रहे हैं, पूछते हैं कि हमसे क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहते हैं ना इनसे. और क्या? This is the rectosigmoidal junction, and I told you that rectosigmoidal junction में there will be no difference in the caliber of lumen. 4 centimeter is the caliber of sigmoid colon distally, and 4 centimeter is the diameter of rectum proximally. So there will be no constriction here. So how will, like if I'll say, if I brought out the terminal portion of the GIT or the hindgut and it's outside, yani ki cadaver say if I brought it out, how will you differentiate up till where it is sigmoid colon and up till where it is rectum? In a gross specimen kept on a table for viva voce, how will you identify the rectosigmoidal junction? Who will tell me? According to mucosal folds is something which is from inside. It is the inner surface mucosal folds, not an outside. Plica circularis bhai andar dikhega, thickness of wall sab बेवकूफी के आंसर हैं. These you cannot see, a specimen is kept in front of you in the table, viva table pe, so it's what you seeing is from outside. So if it's this sigmoid colon and rectum is placed on the table for viva, how will you find point out the rectosigmoidal junction? इस डायग्राम में दिख रहा है. S3 S4 टेबल पे नहीं होगा स्पर्श. टेबल पे ट्रे में, ट्रे में वहां पे there is the specimen is kept. So yes, आकाश, कुछ समझ में आया जो मैंने ये बनाया है डायग्राम? यस, It's this peritoneal covering, this fold of peritoneum, because I told you the difference, the major difference between some portion of the gut is peritoneum covered and some portions will be retroperitoneal. So sigmoid is a peritoneal organ covered with peritoneum, but rectum is a retroperitoneal organ. So you can see this is the fold of peritoneum. Got it? So rectum is retroperitoneal. It is not covered by peritoneum from all the sides, unlike the sigmoid colon, which is covered by peritoneum from all the sides. So this is sigmoid mesocolon. Got it? So this is the right limb of the sigmoid mesocolon. So that up till where you will find that sigmoid colon is reaching this portion of the hind gut, that demarcates the sigmoido-rectal junction. ठीक? So rectosigmoidal junction will be demarcated by the peritoneal fold covering the sigmoid colon, and it is rectum is not covered by peritoneum. Got it? So one thing is this. Then anorectal junction का कैसे पता चलेगा? Anorectal का एनोरेक्टल में क्या है? आई टोल्ड यू कि प्यूबोरेक्टालिस इज अ मसल जो प्यूबिस से वाइंड करती है स्फिंक्टर यूरिथ्रा. इन केस ऑफ फीमेल्स इट विल क्रॉस द वजाइना एज वेल, एंड देन पोस्टरली इट विल wind around the posterior border of the rectum and again reach up. It's a U-shaped band. So that puborectalis, and that's why there is an anterior convexity at the lower end of the rectum. And this anal canal is pulled behind because of this anococcygeal raphe. ठीक है? तो this is about the course of the rectum and anal canal. Now what else you'll find here, that every structure in anatomy or human body needs some support to be fixed in its position. Got it? So rectum might not get shifted from its definitive position. It needs some support. So what are the supports which bind and fix the rectum in its position? So because behind the rectum there is no peritoneum, so rectum rests on the sacrum with the intervening fascia. Smooth connective tissue कैसे कहते हैं? Loose connective tissue. So the condensation of the loose connective tissue behind the rectum, which binds the rectum to the coccyx and the lower portion of sacrum, this fold of condensation of the connective tissue is called fascia of Waldeyer. ठीक? So fascia of Waldeyer binds the rectum posteriorly to the sacrum anteriorly. In between sacrum and rectum you find is fascia of Waldeyer. Now this fascia of Waldeyer का advantage क्या है? One of them is to fix the rectum in the midline position. ठीक है? क्योंकि क्या है, rectum, as I told you, कि it's not vertically straight because of its curvatures, right? It has transverse as well as anteroposterior curvatures. But remember that the rectosigmoidal opening and the anorectal opening are in the median plane. ठीक है? In the median plane. So if median plane में rectum रहे, that means rectum should be anteriorly to the S3, S4, S5 vertebrae. It should not get shifted. So for that, one thing is that fascia Waldeyer fixes the rectum in the midline. Another thing, if you remember, who can tell me what lies, which structure lies anterior, immediately anterior to all the sacral vertebrae, S1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which structure rests anterior to all the 5 sacral vertebrae? No. No, Osama. Previous lecture, I had shown you the diagram, and even while teaching you sacrum on the board, I told you that sacrum anteriorly in the midline, there will be a unpaired median artery, which is the branch arising, the last branch from the abdominal aorta given out posteriorly. It is an unpaired artery, and it is presumed that it is a morphological representation of the dorsal aorta of an embryo, which dorsal aorta in an embryo runs from cephalic to caudal end. So abdominal aorta, you know, abdominal aorta terminates at what level? Abdominal aorta terminates into two terminal branches at what level? L4. Okay. So L4 pe posteriorly at the bifurcation, it gives out its terminal branch. Yes, Shejal. So it is median sacral artery. Median sacral artery will be running here between the rectum and sacrum. It will be median sacral artery as well as median sacral vein. But there's a difference. Median sacral vein will drain into. Now, who will tell me that median sacral vein will drain into which vein? In front of the sacrum, in the midline, it is median sacral artery which descends down from sacral promontory to coccyx. And along with that, yes, Akash, it is left common iliac vein. So, because, you know, inferior vena cava is towards the right side, it's not a midline structure. So what lies in midline is the left common iliac vein. So median sacral vein will drain into the left common iliac vein. ठीक है. सो यानी कि एक चीज क्लियर हो गई, फाशिया ऑफ वाल्डर का कंटेंट क्या होगा, कोई भी बता देगा अब तो. Yes. So content of fascia of Walder will be median sacral artery and vein. And these vessels will give their posterior branches, or you can say median branches, to the posterior wall of the rectum. It will supply the blood to the posterior wall of the rectum. That means fascia of Walder के दो purpose समझ में आ गए. It fixes the rectum in the midline. Then it also provides a passage for the branches of median sacral vessels to reach the rectum posteriorly. Clear? Now look here, this space between the bladder, the prostate, and all the, you know, male excretory and genital organs, the space in between the rectum and bladder and urethra, this space also has a loose connective tissue. Now the condensation of the loose connective tissue here anterior to the rectum is called fascia of Denonviller. Clear? Fascia of Denonviller and fascia of Walder. I believe you can remember this. And for your convenience, let me tell you that D comes before W according to dictionary order. So remember, Denonviller will be anterior and Walder will be posterior. Yaad rahega? Okay. So fascia of Denonviller mein kya hoga? Now fascia of Denonviller will, again, it will keep the rectum in the midline and it will maintain the position of rectum in the midline. Further, it will also provide passage for the prostatic plexus of veins also here, and the vessels also to reach the rectum from anterior end. So, बस इतनी सी बात याद रखनी है. And it also blends with the, you know, seminal vesicles, ductus deferens. It blends and keeps these small, you know, organs of the external male genital organs in position. So fascia of Denonviller में male genital में seminal vesicles, ductus deferens, posterior surface of prostate, capsule of the prostate, and it binds it with the anterior surface of the lower portion of the rectum. So this is fascia of Denenwiller. Then anorectal opening and tip of coccyx में क्या है distance? You can, you know, per rectal examination, digital examination होता है, where you pass a digit. Fascia of Denenwiller females may absent. No, it is there in females. It is in between vagina and rectum. ठीक है? Now look here. This is 2 to 3 centimeters. यानी कि anal canal के अंदर, or you know, it can be manually palpated. ठीक है? Anal opening के 2 to 3 centimeter behind, you will find is the tip of coccyx. So posterior surface of anal canal is pulled behind by this anococcygeal raphe. And what pulls the rectoanal junction anteriorly? This is pubococcygeus muscle. तो ये भी पता है तुम्हें, fecal matter in the rectum initiates the urge to defecate. ठीक है? The urge to defecate only comes when fecal matter reaches the rectum. ठीक है, तो ये anterior curvature फिर से एक स्लाइड है तुम्हारी किताब की है, same diagrams from your book. Anterior curvature, upper 2/3 is according to the curvature of the sacrum, downwards and backwards, downwards and forward. It's a C-shaped curvature. Then you have a rectal ampulla, which is with an anterior convexity. Then it descends downward and backward to form the anal canal. Clear? Then the transverse curvatures towards the right, you have a upper right and a lower right curvature, and in the middle 1/3 you have a left curvature. Now this one is a middle left curvature. This will be the most prominent curve. और ये most prominent curve क्यों है? Why is this most prominent on the left side? Because of the second mucosal fold. There are first, second, and 3 transverse mucosal folds, plica transverse cells. So out of them, 1, 2, 3, the third one, the middle one, is most prominent and a permanent and a fixed fold. Because of this folding, there will be a curvature or convexity on the left side, which is more prominent. Okay? These transverse folds are also called walls of Houston. Now, visceral relations की हम बात कर रहे थे. So सिर्फ peritoneum is not enough. You can express all the other structures anteriorly. So visceral relations of the rectum in the upper 1/3 of the rectum, you can see that peritoneum lines the anterior as well as the sides of the rectum. Then in the middle 1/3, the peritoneum lies only anteriorly. Take, and the lower 1/3 of the rectum is devoid of peritoneum. There is no peritoneum covering the lower 1/3 of the rectum. Instead, the lower 1/3 of the rectum is more dilated to form the rectal ampulla, and it is devoid of peritoneum. Take, then visceral relations में upper 2/3 of the rectum is also related to the loops. You can see the loops of the small intestine and the loops of sigmoid colon. They will be in anterior relation to the upper 2/3 of the rectum. Or you can say they are also content of rectovesical pouch or rectouterine pouch. The lower 1/3 of the rectum is anteriorly related to the base of the bladder. ठीक? Now look here, base of the bladder की बात आ गई तो एक बात याद कर लें पहले कि मैंने बताया था geometrical diagrams में in a triangle the base is said to be up, the side opposite to the apex is called the base of a triangle, right? Similarly, in a cone, the base is said to be opposite to the apex. And human heart is a muscular cone, and the apex of heart lies downwards, forwards, and laterally towards the right. Sorry, downward, forward, and laterally towards the left. That's the direction of the long axis of the heart. So the base of the heart is posterior. ठीक है, याद रखना that heart का जो base है, that is not the inferior surface, it is the posterior surface. Similarly, now bladder, the urinary bladder has an apex. Now this apex of bladder is directed towards the umbilicus with the help of, in the fetal life, this is called allantois, which communicates to the umbilical cord. But after birth, this degenerates and forms a median band, and that is called urachus. So being, having an apex, the base will be posterior. याद रखना, base of urinary bladder is not the upper surface. Base of the bladder is the posterior surface. ठीक? तो इस वजह से you can say that the lower 1/3 of the rectum is anteriorly related to the base of the urinary bladder. Then you have ureters, the terminal portion of the ureters, pelvic ureter, seminal vesicles, ductus deferens, prostate. Okay, so they are all in anterior. Membranous urethra, they are in anterior relation to the lower 1/3 of the rectum. Then from anal opening, the distance for this pouch, recto-uterine pouch, is 5.5 centimeter in females, and in males rectovesical pouch is 7.5 centimeter above. Sagittal sections में you can see the relation I'm showing you because there was a question asked once in case of male perineum and female में difference ये है. This rectovesical pouch in females, remember this rectovesical pouch in males does not descend down to cover the prostate, neither the seminal vesicles. ठीक है, तो rectal vesical pouch is a fold or peritoneal recess between the upper portion of the urinary bladder and the rectum. So this pouch does not separate prostate from rectum. They're in direct relation. ठीक? In case of females, this recto-uterine, because it's 5.5 centimeter for male, so that means ये pouch जो है females में, it is more dependent, right? So recto-uterine pouch reaches behind which completely covers the uterus and reaches behind the upper 1/3 of the vagina. So that means rectum and females में recto-uterine pouch में, this pouch descends posterior to the upper 1/3 of vagina. And this is the posterior relations of the rectum. उनको हम बता चुके हैं. This is median sacral artery, median sacral nerve भी होगा. And what other relations will be posterior relation to the rectum? They will be sympathetic chain also running on the two sides. Then ganglion impar will be in posterior relation. Lateral relations of the rectum में क्या लिखोगे? These will be the anterior primary rami of the sacral spinal nerves and first coccygeal nerve. Then there will be lateral sacral arteries and veins. Muscles in lateral relation to the rectum will be piriformis, coccygeus and levator ani. Posterior relation में anococcygeal ligament. ठीक? Posterior relation of rectum में एक और चीज ऐड करना जरूरी है. Remember that the blood supply of the hindgut is by inferior mesenteric artery. ठीक? And inferior mesenteric artery, it is given out from abdominal aorta at which vertebral level? Who will tell me? What is the vertebral level of the origin of inferior mesenteric? Yes, L3, Abhishek Singh. So it is L3. From L3, this artery, inferior mesenteric artery, descend downwards and laterally towards the left sacroiliac joint. वहां पे उसको क्या मिलता है? Sigmoid mesocolon. So it descends down, the inferior mesenteric artery descends down in the right limb of the sigmoid mesocolon. You can see this is the ala of sacrum. This line is the ala of sacrum. So sacroiliac joint yahan banega. So it descends down through the right limb of the sigmoid mesocolon, and downwards and medially it reaches to the lower border of S2, or you can say up till S3. So within this right limb of the root of sigmoid mesocolon, both inferior mesenteric artery and vein, they reach the lower border of S2, where they divide into right and left terminal branches on the two sides of the rectum. So the posterior relation may, you don't, I mean, you should remember that, don't forget to mention this inferior mesenteric artery and vein also in posterior relation to the rectum. Now the transverse mucosal folds. So this was anal canal, 3.8 centimeter to 4 centimeter from below. Then this is the lower 1/3 of the rectum, which is dilated to form the rectal ampulla. This and this are having the same diameter, 4 centimeter here. Now these are there will be several small mucosal folds, but 3 of them are more demarcated. There will be 2, first and second from the left wall of the rectum, and the second one, first and third will from the left wall, and the middle one, second one from the right wall. Now this one is the most constant. Now look here, this image is through the sigmoidoscopy or the proctoscopy. So visualizing when you form, when you pass your sigmoidoscope here, so you'll find the first mucosal fold. First mucosal fold, although there is a slight correction, actually first mucosal fold jo ye wala hai, this diagram you're seeing from above, right? So this is not fixed in position. It can be right or it can be left, upper transverse fold. Then the second transverse fold, it is attached to the anterior and the right wall of the rectum. ठीक? And it also has a morphological significance. That means ये जो middle वाला fold है, I told you बहुत prominent है, it's the largest mucosal fold. The significance of this is that above to this, जो rectum है ये, this is derived from the hindgut, developmentally. And the portion of the rectum below to this second mucosal fold develops from the cloaca. ठीक? Above to this second mucosal fold, the portion develops from the hindgut, and below portion to the second mucosal fold that develops from cloaca. And this portion is not covered with peritoneum. However, upper 2/3 above to the second mucosal fold, it is developed from the hindgut and it is related to the peritoneum anterolaterally. ठीक? Then the third mucosal fold arises from the left surface. This one is the third, and this is the most inconstant. यानी इसकी position fixed नहीं होती है, और हो या ना हो, that also can be the reason. It may or may not be present. ठीक है? So it's not the most inconstant mucosal fold is the third one or the lowest fold. The largest and the most constant is the middle mucosal fold. And the distance between the lower and middle mucosal fold is around 2.5 centimeters. ये centimeters वगैरह क्यों measure करते हैं? So that, जिस तरह से हमने esophagus के constrictions पढ़े थे, if you remember, there were constrictions in urethra also. So while like doing endoscopy or passing a Ryle's tube, यहाँ पे हम sigmoidoscopy करते हैं. So when you have a calibrated, tube, so while you are, introducing this tube inside, you should know exactly how much far have you reached. So you have to have a little idea how far these folds are. What's the distance between them? ठीक है? ओके तो ये फोर्स देखे तुमने यहां से देखो लोअर एंड से 7 पॉइंट्स आई मीन दिस इज नॉट द एनल ओपनिंग राइट दिस इज द एनोरेक्टल जंक्शन फ्रॉम द एनोरेक्टल जंक्शन 7.5 centimeter above you will find is the first transverse mucosal fold from the left wall ठीक तो लेफ्ट फर्स्ट ट्रांसवर्स म्यूकोजल फोल्ड इट मे encircle partially or may completely constrict encircle it may completely encircle the lumen and may constrict the lumen तो फर्स्ट म्यूकोजल फोल्ड के साथ में कई सारी चीजें हैं कि it may be partially or completely forming a complete ring and forming a complete ring what will happen it will provide I mean it will might be a cause of constriction of rectum at the upper end ठीक है first upper half upper 1/3 में the second you seeing is the most prominent is the largest and the most constant and also has an embryological significance ठीक then lower 1/3 is below the second and the third this portion is 2.5 centimeters ठीक है this is called the ampulla and the most inconstant mucosal fold is the third one. Then you have a longitudinal mucosal folds. Now these are transitory mucosal folds and they will be visible only in an empty rectum. Transitory means like if you dissect it out and you stretch this wall, these longitudinal folds will disappear. However, the transverse mucosal folds, जिनको हम कहते हैं walls of Houston or plica transversales, these are walls of Houston. These are permanent mucosal folds and they do not disappear even in a distended rectum. ठीक है? And rather they get more prominent on distension of rectum. Clear? अच्छा, अब थोड़ा सा correction है books के हिसाब से कि this peritoneal relations descend down not till the second but till the third mucosal fold ठीक peritoneum actually covers the upper 2/3 of the rectum lower 1/3 is from below the third mucosal fold so upper 2/3 of the rectum includes from the rectosigmoidal junction till the third mucosal fold and this portion develops from the hindgut portion of the rectum below the third mucosal fold that develops from cloaca and it includes the anal canal and the lower 1/3 of the rectum develops from cloaca सारे measurements हैं इसमें while passing a proctoscope or sigmoidoscope all the measurements from when you pass what mucosal folds at what centimeter you will find them they are all been mentioned here right so 4 centimeter you can see is the length of anal canal ठीक 4 centimeter is the length of anal canal 3.8 actually hota hai then above to that 5.6 pe you will find the third lowest mucosal fold then 8 to 9 centimeter then 11 13 ultimately rectum is 12 centimeter to 12 plus 4 is around 16 plus में आता है तो ये that's around 16 centimeter तक हम sigmoido-rectal junction पे पहुंच जाएंगे from the lower end anal openings ठीक now look here in this diagram this is a coronal section this is a coronal section of the rectum and anal canal here you seeing that these are the internal iliac vessels and this is the internal pudendal artery which crosses the ischial spine goes into the gluteal region comes back to the lesser sciatic notch and now this passes into the pudendal canal say this is obturator internus it pierces this fascia and crosses now this space is ischioanal fossa ठीक this space is ischioanal fossa so internal pudendal vessels and pudendal nerve below the pelvic now this is levator ani so below the pelvic diaphragm internal pudendal vessels and pudendal nerve cross the ischioanal fossa and reach the little wall of the rectum. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे pad of fat होता है. The pad of fat keeps packs up this rectum anal canal, which is usually empty, so it actually presses the two sides so that this lumen gets closed. Now about blood vessels, blood supply of rectum and anal canal. Anal canal I'm not discussing, I'm discussing is rectum. So superior rectal artery, right? The superior rectal artery, I told you that superior rectal artery descends down along the medial limb of the sigmoid mesocolon. Then at the level of middle sacral, at the level of S2 sacral vertebrae, it divides into right and left branches to reach on the either side of the rectum. Now this this superior rectal artery, it reaches the upper two-third junction and then it perforates the musculature of the wall of the rectum and reaches the submucosa. There it divides into 3 or 4 branches which run along the submucosa and descend down up till the upper 1/3 of the anal canal. And anal canal, I told you, in the mucosa in the upper 1/3 has anal columns and anal walls. So that is the side where this anastomosis with the pudendal vessels. ठीक है, inferior pudendal artery, inferior rectal artery. Inferior rectal artery is actually a misnomer. Inferior rectal artery is a misnomer because it does not supply the rectum, rather it supplies the anal canal. So यानी कि superior mesenteric artery or inferior mesenteric artery continues as superior mesenteric, superior rectal anastomosis with inferior rectal artery at the level of upper 1/3 of anal canal. Now, middle rectal artery. Middle rectal artery is a branch from anterior division of internal iliac. Now, this artery is inconstant artery, may or may not be present. It reaches the sides of the rectum and it divides into ascending and descending branches which supply the superficial coat of the rectum, superficial musculature of the rectum peripherally. That means middle rectal artery, if not present, then also not much harm is there because it will be compensated by the superior rectal and inferior rectal artery. So middle rectal artery only provides a superficial, blood supply to the superficial muscular coat of the rectum. That was about the 3 blood vessels. याद रखना, superior rectal artery, middle rectal artery, inferior rectal artery. But inferior rectal artery is a misnomer. It supplies the anal canal. Now the median sacral artery, median sacral vessels जो हैं, ये तो पीछे चल रहे थे sacrum पे. They will supply the posterior wall of the rectum. ठीक? Okay. वेनस ड्रेनेज पे देख लेते हैं. सिंपल क्या है, पूरा जिस वेन्स आल्सो रन पैरेलल टू द वेसल्स, टू द आर्टरीज, दे रन इन द सबम्यूकोसा. तो सबम्यूकोसा से यहाँ पे एनल कॉलम में दे विल फॉर्म इंटरनल हेमोरॉइड्स. यहाँ पे एनास्टोमोसिस होती है बिकॉज inferior rectal vein ascends to form inferior mesenteric vein, and inferior mesenteric vein किस मेंटेन करेगी? splenic vein. Then it forms portal vein and portocaval anastomosis participate करती है. क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो internal hemorrhoids बनते हैं, that is between superior rectal vein and internal branch from inferior rectal vein is a tributary of internal pudendal vein. तो somatic veins का ये कोर्स है and systemic यानी कि पोर्टल सिस्टम का ये कोर्स है. तो टोटल देयर इज दिस, यानी कि पोर्टोकेवल एनास्टोमोसिस या पोर्टल हाइपरटेंशन में देयर विल बी dilatation of the venous plexus here, and that's called piles or hemorrhoids. ठीक? यहां पे वही चीज दिख रही है. ये वाला सिस्टमिक है, ये वाला वेनस ड्रेनेज इज टुवर्ड्स द पोर्टल सिस्टम, ठीक। और ये सोमैटिक वेन्स होती हैं एनल कैनाल में। इंफीरियर रेक्टल वेन ड्रेन्स इनटू इंटरनल पुडेंडल इनटू इंटरनल आइलियक से कॉमन आइलियक इंफीरियर वेना कावा। सो दैट मींस अगर पोर्टल हाइपरटेंशन होगा, ब्लड विल हैव अ it will have a backflow. So because of that hypertension, there will be dilatation of the vessels in the submucosa of the anal canal, and that is called internal rectal plexus. Bleeding can occur here in case of hard stools or in cases of constipation. Nerve supply क्या है? Nerve supply simple सी है, देखो एक्चुअली जो विसरा है, let me tell you, in viscera you need not have to think much about the vessel, I mean nerve supply. Simple दो हेडिंग डलती हैं किसी भी विसरा की, चाहे वो लिवर हो, GIT, डूडनम, गॉल ब्लैडर, whatever, कोलन, सिग्मॉइड, मीजन, अपेंडिक्स, whatever. किसी भी विसरा की जब नर्व सप्लाई की बात करते हैं तो यू जस्ट हैव टू राइट ऑटोनॉमिक इनर्वेशन होगा। ऑटोनॉमिक इनर्वेशन आसपास जो उसके प्लेक्सस होता है वहां से आता है। बोथ सिंपैथेटिक एंड पैरासिम्पैथेटिक इज द सप्लाई। what you need to remember it, what's the role of sympathetic and what is the role of parasympathetic, बस इतनी सी बात याद रखनी है। तो देखो इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक प्लेक्सस जो होता है, इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक आर्टरी का जो ओरिजिन है L3 के लेवल पे वहां पे होगा, ठीक है, इसको सुपीरियर, वहां से नर्व्स आती हैं। सिंपैथेटिक इज फ्रॉम L1 to L2, so they descend down and participate in the hypogastric plexus, ठीक। एंड इसी की तरह से क्या है, ये हाइपोगैस्ट्रिक प्लेक्सस इंटरनल आइलियक एंड कॉमन आइलियक वेसल्स के लेवल पे होती है। फिर क्या है, S2, S3, S4 से पैरासिम्पैथेटिक आउटफ्लो है, दैट आल्सो मर्जेस इन दिस हाइपोगैस्ट्रिक प्लेक्सस। अल्टीमेटली इसको रेक्टम की जो नर्व सप्लाई है वो सिंपैथेटिक एंड पैरासिम्पैथेटिक से होता क्या, करती क्या है सिंपैथेटिक नर्व्स। नो सिंपैथेटिक नर्व्स आर वैसोकंस्ट्रिक्टर, ठीक है, यानी कि सिंपैथेटिक ओवरटोन होने से देयर विल बी लॉस ऑफ ब्लड सप्लाई टू द रेक्टम and it is inhibitory to musculature. You know that peristalsis रुक जाती है in cases of fear, fight and phobia, जैसे कहते हैं ना डाइजेशन रुक जाता है उस टाइम। then sphincters close हो जाते हैं। I told you the situation of fear, fight and phobia, that's the situation of sympathetic overtone। तो anal sphincters जो हैं सब टाइट पैकअप हो जाएंगे। कहने का मतलब ये द स्फिंक्टर मोटर सप्लाई टू स्फिंक्टर है। इंटरनल एनल, माइंडेड इंटरनल एनल स्फिंक्टर इज स्मूथ मसल, नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्केलेटल और द आउटर स्फिंक्टर व्हिच इज सोमैटिक इन कंट्रोल एंड दैट्स टू द पुडेंडल नर्व। लेकिन यहां बात हो रही है स्मूथ मसल्स की। सो मोटर टू द इंटरनल एनल स्फिंक्टर एंड और इंपॉर्टेंट है पेन सेंसिटिव, यानी एफरेंट्स जो है इसमें पेन के दैट विल बी कैरिड टू सिंपैथेटिक पाथवे, ठीक है। पैरासिम्पैथेटिक का क्या रोल है, पैरासिम्पैथेटिक का क्या है, इट इज मोटर टू मस्कुलेचर ऑफ रेक्टम, दैट मींस दिस हेल्प्स इन डेफिकेशन। सिंपल सी बात है, दिस हेल्प्स इन डेफिकेशन। वन थिंग, इट प्रोपेल्स द fecal matter from cecum to rectum through these peristaltic waves and also it dilates the anal opening, यानी कि it is inhibitory to the internal anal sphincter, so it opens the anal canal। एंड सेंसेशन मैंने बताया था, सेंसेशन ऑफ डिस्टेंशन, यानी इसमें भी एफरेंट्स है, इसमें भी एफरेंट्स है, ठीक है। तो सेंसेशन ऑफ डिस्टेंशन ऑफ रेक्टम, यानी कि द अर्ज टू डेफिकेट विल अराइज in the rectum because of the distension of rectum and that sensations will be sent through parasympathetic. Pain sensitive sensations are carried through both parasympathetic and sympathetic, ठीक। ये उसका पैटर्न है, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेना, समझ में आए तो देख लेना इसमें ये कैसे आउटफ्लो है। दिस इज द L1 L2 रीजन जहां से ये सिंपैथेटिक आउटफ्लो आ रहा है, इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक प्लेक्सस से होते हुए हाइपोगैस्ट्रिक प्लेक्सस से यहां तक आता है। ये पैरासिम्पैथेटिक आउटफ्लो है। ये पैरासिम्पैथेटिक जो है ये पुडेंडल नर्व के साथ आता है, बट रिमेंबर दैट पुडेंडल नर्व क्रॉसेस द ischial spine to reach the gluteal region and then re-enter through the lesser sciatic notch, but the pelvic splanchnic nerves, they do not, although they have the same root numbers, pudendal nerve is ventral division and pelvic splanchnic is the dorsal division, but it does not process the ischial spine and it stays in the true pelvis. So both of them, they reach there and they form a pelvic plexus around the rectum and they supply the rectum. This is the course of the nerve fibers. ये दिख रहा है तुम्हें यहाँ पे, ये inferior hypogastric plexus यहाँ से आता है ऊपर से inferior mesenteric से superior hypogastric, which is an unpaired plexus. Then you have this inferior hypogastric plexus, यहाँ पे आ जाता है, ठीक है, और इसी से सप्लाई होती है. सिंपैथेटिक चेन इज बोथ द साइड्स, और ये लिगामेंट क्या कहते हैं इसको, गैंग्लियन इम्पार. एनल केनाल की जो सप्लाई है, दिस इज द इंफीरियर व्यू. तो ये पता है ईशियल स्पाइन से क्रॉस करके पुडेंडल कैनाल के थ्रू पुडेंडल नर्व आती है एंड इट सप्लाइज द एक्सटर्नल एनल स्फिंक्टर. यानी कि जो हम नर्व सप्लाई बताते हैं उसमें ऑटोनॉमिक तो है ही है, बट rectum is having completely an autonomic innervation, but anal canal has both, because smooth muscles के लिए you have autonomic and the skeletal muscles which form the external anal sphincter, for that you have nerve supply is by the pudendal nerve through its inferior rectal nerve. Lymphatic drainage. लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज क्या होगा भाई, सीधी सी बात है, मैंने बताया था कि जो जीआईटी का हाइंड गट पोर्शन है, दैट drains along with the inferior mesenteric nerves and inferior mesenteric vessels. So ultimately जो venous drainage है वो पहुंचेगा किसमें, inferior mesenteric lymph nodes में जाएगा, ठीक है, upper half of the rectum, ठीक है, because lower half यानी कि from below the third mucosal fold till the anal opening it develops from cloaca. तो हाइंड गट पोर्शन का जो lymphatic drainage है वो inferior mesenteric में half of the rectum, upper half of the rectum is drained into the inferior mesenteric. लेकिन वो जाएगा कैसे, it doesn't have a direct flow to the inferior mesenteric plexus. यानी rectum के जो lymphatic drainage है वो पहले जाएगा pararectal nodes में, फिर sigmoidal nodes में, then it will ascend to the inferior mesenteric nodes, ठीक, and they pass via the superior rectal vessels. और superior rectal vessels किस में चलती हैं, within the fascia of Waldeyer. रेक्टम के एंटीरियर पोस्टीरियर सपोर्ट्स बताए थे, बट रिमेंबर ऑन द टू साइड्स ऑफ द एनल कैनाल यू हैव इस्चियोएनल फोसा, एक सपोर्ट वो है. रेक्टम के दोनों साइड में आल्सो देयर इज कंडेंसेशन ऑफ superficial fascia, loose areolar tissue that's from the lateral ligaments of the rectum. So through these lateral ligaments there will be bilateral lymphatic drainage from the lower half of the rectum into the internal iliac lymph nodes, ठीक है. So the lower half of the lymphatic drainage passes through the lateral ligament of the rectum along the middle rectal vessels into the internal iliac lymph nodes. फिर इसके बाद ये ऊपर असेंड करेंगे और lateral aortic या lumbar lymph nodes में जाएंगे, and ultimately they will all reach to the cisterna chyli and then to the thoracic duct. ये लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज स्लाइड ही है वसुंधरा ओली, ठीक है. तो दोज हु वांट टू टेक अ स्लाइड ऑफ दिस यू कैन टेक इट. और क्या नाम है, कदीर, प्रीवियस स्लाइड ये है, प्रीवियस स्लाइड, इसका भी स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हो. ये तो बुक में ये ले लिया, ये देखो, ये वाला नर्व वाला लेना है तो ये ले सकते हो. ये दिस इज माय ओन ड्रॉन डायग्राम, एक्चुअली रिटन द नोट्स डाउन हियर बिकॉज इसका डायग्राम बुक में था नहीं तुम्हारी, ठीक है. स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस नर्व सप्लाई ऑफ द रेक्टम, ठीक है. सो दिस इज द नर्व सप्लाई. देन इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, ये तो समझने के लिए थे डायग्राम्स. दिस यू कैन टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस स्लाइड. दिस इज द लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज ऑफ द रेक्टम, ओके. ये सेम सिचुएशन है. कुछ तुम्हें इसमें एक शॉर्ट में मेमोराइज कर लेना है. जो मीडियन यानी अपर हाफ है वो जाएगा इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक में थ्रू द पैरारेक्टल सिग्मोइडल लिम्फ नोड्स. जो लोअर हाफ है वो मिडिल रेक्टल वेसल्स के थ्रू और वो पहुंचेगा इंटरनल आइलियक लिम्फ नोड्स में, कॉमन आइलियक एंड लेटरल लंबर ट्रंक से सिस्टर्ना काइली, ठीक है. तो लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज भी पता चल गया. फास्ट अब चलते हैं, ज्यादा कुछ बचा नहीं है. क्लिनिकल पॉइंट्स में ये आ जाते हैं. दिस इज अबाउट द पर रेक्टल डिजिटल एग्जामिनेशन. पर रेक्टल एग्जामिनेशन बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, सर्जरी में भी बहुत मैन्युअली ये कराया भी जाता है, दिखाया भी जाता है. यू शुड नो हाउ टू डू दिस. इसमें क्या होता है कि पर रेक्टल एग्जामिनेशन से दिस रिवील्स अ लॉट ऑफ नॉर्मल एंड एबनॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर्स, यू कैन फील एंड पाल्पेट देम. First of all, the patient has to be made comfortable and assured to have, like, in compliance with the doctor. So patient is either the two positions. One is to lie in a left lateral positions. Patient has to lie down on a couch with the left lateral position with his knees, hip joint flexed and knees reaching to the chest and the perineum exposed. So this is the left lateral position. And other one is a knee elbow position with the perineum exposed. Now in these two positions, the better position is the knee chest position. This knee chest position is better, but it is really very awkward for the patient, and there is not very much this the patients don't show very good compliance in this position. So that's why surgeons prefer doing per rectal examination in the left lateral position. Now in this per rectal examination, the index finger with the gloves on is introduced with the help of a lubricant introduced. Then these are the two positions. How will you introduce the index finger with your pulp, the pulp of the index finger? You can first introduce with your pulp anteriorly to reach the anal canal. And anal canal की length कितनी होती है, अभी बताया था कितना, around 4 centimeters, right? Now it depends upon the length of your index finger, how far you can reach. Then index, and 4 centimeter is anal canal. Anal canal के ऊपर आ जाएगा, that is anorectal ring. So at that same level you find is prostate anteriorly. ठीक है? So anteriorly जब हम यहाँ से देख रहे हो, is in case of males. Now this is a per rectal examination when you're introducing an index finger. So at around 4 centimeters that I told you is the anorectal ring, and anterior to that you will find is the prostate. यानी कि normally if you will see कि हम anteriorly, pulp of the finger is directed anteriorly. So in males what you can palpate is the prostate, the neck of the bladder, the membranous urethra, the seminal vesicles, the ductus deferens and the membranous urethra. ये सारे structures you can palpate in a normal person. But जो इसमें पर्पस क्या है, prostatic hyperplasia, yes, BPH, शोभित. तो BPH is the most commonest, one of the common problems in males after 55 to 60 years. वहाँ पे there is benign prostatic hyperplasia. Then carcinoma of the prostate can be palpated, and if there is a urethral calculus, urethral membranous urethra में if there is a calculi stone, that also can be palpated. If there is distension or the occlusion of seminal vesicles, dilatation of the vesicles can be palpated. Even the neck of bladder can be palpated, or the terminal urethra में भी अगर stone impaction है, that also can be palpated. ठीक है, तो anterior palpations. Females में per rectal examination में क्या है, anteriorly what you can palpate is the lower end of the, vagina, posterior wall of the vagina can be palpated. Then cervix can be palpated, uterus lower limit can be palpated, and pouch of Douglas can be palpated. Then ये जो diagram है यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, you can twist your finger and make your finger directed posteriorly. So pulp of the finger reaches posteriorly. When you twist your finger, then you can palpate the posterior things. Posteriorly क्या मिलेगा तुम्हें यहाँ पे, sacrum मिलेगा, right? तो sacral में का मतलब क्या हुआ है, behind, like behind the rectum you can have, if there is any bony deformities in the sacrum, that can be palpated with the posterior examination. And posteriorly is the same structures in both in male and female. Otherwise clinical examination in females में advantage क्या है, like in case of deliveries on the जैसे कहते हैं the presenting portion, ये जो था crowning, like vertex है, breech है, fetus का क्या presentation है, there is actually dilatation of the cervix, ठीक है, just before the labor pains. So there will be, you can palpate the actually palpation in gynecological examination even is from the vaginal route, but repeated per vaginal examination can cause infection, that can spread infection to the fetus. So repeated per vaginal examination is avoided. So per rectal examination can also be done to examine or to palpate the dilatation of the cervix. ठीक है. Then lateral, if you twist your finger laterally, lateral twist करेंगे तो on the two sides of the anal canal क्या होता है? Ischioanal fossa. और इश्चुएनल फोसा में पस बनता है. देयर इज पस, और वो पस जो है साइनस बन सकता है, फिस्टुला बन सकता है. सो पाल्पेटिंग ऑन द टू साइड्स ऑफ द एनल कैनाल यू कैन आल्सो फील द इफ देयर इज इश्चुएनल एब्सिस. देन यू हैव दिस एग्जामिनेशन, इंस्ट्रूमेंटल एग्जामिनेशन है. ये दो तरह का होता है, एक प्रोक्टोस्कोपी एंड सिग्मोइडोस्कोपी और कोलोनोस्कोपी कहते हैं. प्रोक्टोस्कोपी में दिस इज अ प्रोक्टोस्कोप जिसमें एक ऑब्टुरेटर और ये प्रोक्टोस्कोप शीट होती, बोथ आर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टुगेदर विद अ जेली इनसाइड, एंड दिस कैन रीच अप टू द एनल कैनाल एंड रेक्टम. So to examine the rectum, you can introduce this proctoscope. After introducing, you can remove this obturator, and then you can visualize. This is how in the left lateral position you can do the proctoscopy, जिसको endoscope भी कहते हैं. So with this proctoscopy, you can reach only in the anal canal and rectum. So this will help you visualize the mucosal folds. And if there is any hemorrhoids, internal piles जो होते हैं, उसके लिए सबसे easiest तरीका तो यही है. ठीक है. तो proctoscope can be used for internal hemorrhoids. If there is impacted stools, if there are any stricture, constrictions, diverticula, polyps, or anything inside, ये हम यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. Colonoscopy is for it's like पहले इनिमा लगा के evacuate करते हैं. This you can see is procedure being done for colonoscopy, which is also done in the left lateral position and with the help of this trocar and tube which is inserted inside. This I कहते हैं colonoscope. Then the same thing is being visualized on the screen. So when you'll pass this colonoscope, it will pass through the different regions of the ascending sigmoid transverse colon and it can reach till the cecum. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे भी कार्सिनोमा ऑफ द हाइंड गट, कोलन, कार्सिनोमा कोलन के लिए भी देख सकते हैं. इफ देयर इज ट्यूबरकुलर अल्सर्स, टाइफॉइड अल्सर्स. ठीक है. हु विल टेल मी ट्यूबरकुलर अल्सर्स आर ट्रांसवर्स और वर्टिकल अल्सर्स, लॉन्गिट्यूडनल अल्सर्स? लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन में मिलते हैं ट्यूबरकुलर अल्सर्स. ट्यूबरकुलर आर ट्रांसवर्स और लॉन्गिट्यूडनल? ट्यूबरकुलर, सिमरन, ट्यूबरकुलर अल्सर्स आर ट्रांसवर्स अल्सर्स. मैंने बताया था टी फॉर ट्यूबरकुलर, टी फॉर ट्रांसवर्स, इतना ही याद रखना. टाइफाइड पे मत जाना. टी फॉर ट्यूबरकुलर, टी फॉर ट्रांसवर्स. ठीक है. और टाइफाइड के वर्टिकल होते हैं. एंड देन अनदर थिंग इज प्रोलैप्स ऑफ रेक्टम. अब क्या है, जिस तरह से मैंने वो बताया था प्रोलैप्स ऑफ यूट्रस भी हो सकता है, ओवरीज भी हो सकता है, इसी तरह से prolapse of rectum भी हो सकता है. वो क्यों? Because this pelvic diaphragm, if there is a weakness in the pelvic diaphragm, especially remember क्या कहते हैं वो, puborectalis की insufficiency होगी. There is, and further दो तरह का incomplete prolapse and complete prolapse. Incomplete prolapse में what is there, that the four layers of the GIT, mucosa and submucosa of the anal canal and the rectum is not so tethered together. And because in the submucosa there is a venous plexus also. So because of that, like straining in case of hard stools, straining, forceful straining can brush upon the mucosa of the anal canal. So in those cases, there will be mucosa of the anal canal protruding out, and this is incomplete or mucosal prolapse. The other thing is, if there is weakness of the pelvic diaphragm, okay, so there are chances of complete or puborectalis की weakness से भी. Their complete prolapse is called prosidentia. Remember, complete prolapse of anal canal and rectum is called prosidentia. ठीक, इसमें repair करना पड़ता है. Then this condition is called proctalgia fugax. Proctalgia fugax में क्या होता है कि there is sudden onset, ये idiopathic cause है, sudden onset of pain in the anal canal, sudden onset of pain, and plus there is obstruction or you can say restriction or you can say कि constriction of the internal anal sphincter, यानी smooth muscle जो है वो spasm में चली जाती हैं. So that causes complete closure of the anal canal. So there what will happen, there will be a problem in defecation. यानी I told you that the impulse to defecate arises when there is fecal matter in the rectum. यानी rectum में fecal matter है, so you have a desire to defecate, but still you are straining, but the fecal matter is not coming out because of the constriction of internal anal sphincter, and there will be pain also. ठीक है, so this is a condition called proctalgia fugax and it is a transient. इसमें phases होते हैं. In between you will have a phase where you'll be relieved from this pain, then again the same thing, that is cyclical, it for every with a gap of relieving, then again there will be pain, and it is a self-limiting problem. It might get relieved on itself after 2-3 days. Carcinoma rectum is also common carcinoma rectum जो होता है, ये mucosa you can see is the mucosa anal surface, then you have submucosa, muscular layer, and outside to that you know